Hey everybody, it's Rodger the Rail Fan. Back with some records. Finally, some records. It's been a while. Month or so, probably, something like that. No, I haven't completely lost my mind. I don't go to record stores as much as I used to, but I still go to record stores because records are cool. It was my birthday earlier in the month. I turned 56 years old. I was never supposed to live this long, but here I am. And my lovely in-laws gave me a nice present. I'm going to show. SACDs, not CDs, SACDs, Super Audio CDs. This is Grenada, 1013 to 1502. Jordi Savall and Hesperian 21 and La Capella Real de Catalunya on Alia Vox. Lovely stuff. So this is, music from 1013 to 1502, centered around the Iberian Peninsula. When did this come out? 2013? It's been a while. I have a lot of this stuff, and it's all just wonderful. I'm a really big fan of early music, and early music played on historically accurate instruments and historically informed performance practices. And Jordi Savall is a master of all that and was a real pioneer of it back in the 70s, and he's just gotten better and better. Everything on this label is fantastic. So they gave me that, and they also gave me this, which is the Bach Brandenburg Concertos by Jordi Savall with the Concert of Nations. This is a reissue of something that I believe came out on Telefunken or Archive or something back in the 90s, 91. This is a remix to multi-channel SACD. Now, I don't have a multi-channel setup. Kind of wish I did, but I do appreciate the high-res stereo. It just sounds so wonderful. And I have maybe 5 different recordings of the Brandenburg Concertos. They kind of remind me of this time of year, the holidays coming and stuff. And this is a lovely, languid, very few instruments per voice, chamber style. Fantastic, just fantastic. I know CDs, but not CDs, SACDs. And if you can play them at their proper resolution, I tell you, it beats vinyl. I tell you what, it does. But that's not what people wanted. So only little specialty labels like Alia Vox continue to put out SACDs, and I thank them for it. Anyway, a couple more CDs I'm going to show because they're just giving them away. I found this still sealed for like $5. J-Lib. This is Jay Dilla with Madlib Champion Sound. 2 CD special edition of it. Fucking great. I really don't know what to say about hip hop, but Jay Dilla, man, was a master of the MPC. And a couple of metal CDs. Hey Andreas, if you're watching, I know you know this band, Bluetooth Nord. Odinist, The Destruction of Reason by Illumination. This is from 2002 on Candlelight USA. And then another Bluetooth Nord. This is like a split or like a... I think they're playing together. I can't tell. Bluetooth Nord and Phobos Tri-Unity. This is great. Bluetooth Nord, French black metal. Kind of a one-man band thing, but this collaborative thing is really, really interesting. Really, really kind of more than like this, which is just real one-man band kind of thing. But I dig it. I have a bunch of their stuff on CD. Nothing on vinyl. Metal often is good on CD, I think. And metal vinyl can be stupid, expensive, and collectible, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm perfectly happy to find this, for a couple bucks a pop. Great. Okay, enough with the digital. Sorry. Cheers, everybody. I'm having a local craft beer, Little Harpeth Brewing Bison Vienna Lager. Quite tasty. All right, on with the vinyl. All the major construction in my mouth is finally over. 2.5 years and tens of thousands of dollars later. Here I am. It's nice to be able to eat like a normal person. It's been a long time. If I've been cranky, tell you what, that's a big reason why I've been cranky, because it sucked. 2.5 years, it sucked. But anyway, so one big trip to the record store after that appointment. I picked this up. BBC Radio 1. A double 10-inch on Drag City. I'm not a big fan of 10 inches, but I am a big fan of So of course I had to get it. It's pretty neat, green and black vinyl. Sounds tremendous. Really dig those guys. Kind of doomy metal kind of stuff. Alice's Narrows. This guy. Speaking of Alice's Narrows, I didn't get this at Grimey's. I got this at another place. It was on the wall, but since it's related to this is Sleep, live at Third Man Records. The whole Vault series, Vault package number 39 with the poster and the patch and the insert and the colored vinyl and the whole schmear. 4 LPs of Sleep right here in Nashville at Third Man Records. I kind of wanted to go, but like I said, I'm 56 years old. I'm too old for that stuff. If it would have started at a normal time, maybe, but it'd be one of those like they go on at midnight kind of things, and just no. So, but I do enjoy having the recording. It touts being recorded direct to acetate. Now, okay, that's kind of a really old school way to do it, but it does sound really good. I mean, given the like kind of one shot aspect of it, it sounds really good, and the band sounds way better than anyone. That new record that came out of nowhere, the Scientists or whatever, it's way better than anyone had any right to expect. And live, they bring it. These old dudes, they bring it. And I was happy to find that for a decent price. Third Man. All right. This came in the mail. I'm showing these in kind of random order, but this is really good. Another, what is it? Analog Africa. Analog Africa, yes. Out of Germany. Great compilation. Mogadisco. Dancing Mogadishu, Somalia, 1972-1991. These Analog Africa comps are all freaking great, but this is especially good. I mean, and it's just, and the booklet and his story of like traveling with armed guards to go find, these tapes that, were unheard outside of Somalia, and putting it on these beautifully pressed pieces of vinyl for such a reasonable price. Yes, I pre-ordered these directly from the label on Bandcamp. As soon as I get an email saying they have something coming out, I pre-order it, and they send it to me, and they're awesome. They're awesome. And this is no exception. If you like African pop music, you want to hear that. Trust me. Okay, so I picked this up at Grimey's. The new Guided by Voices. Sweating the Plague. Now, I guess I might as well just say it. I say it every time. Bob's on a roll, and he's got a good band together, and he's letting this guy, I can't remember his name, actually produce the records, so they sound like records, not like he's just tossing it off. And Doug Gillard is bringing the ideas, and it really seems like he's letting the band bring their creativity to things, and it's cooking and great, and just great sophisticated pop rock punk prog, God bless him. Keep going. All right, and on kind of a whim, I picked this up. I really like the cover, and I really like this band, although I don't have very much of their stuff. Evoken, Hypnogagia, Profound Lore, trademark of quality right there. This is their most recent album, I think from last year, maybe this year, I'm not sure. So these guys are American, like sludgy doom band. Been around for a long time and have only made like maybe 5 or 6 albums. And this is, continues on with that very atmospheric. There's lots of like synths and they're like singing, but very musical and sweeping sort of atmospheric things going on. Really good, really good. Makes me wish I'd picked up their previous album on vinyl. I went on Discogs and it's like, no, do I really want to pay that? I don't know. Evoking, really good. If you're into Doom, it's good Doom. If you're into Doom, I am. I'm also kind of into death metal, and this is some old school death metal out of Florida from the 90s. Morbid Angel's second album, Blessed Are the Sick. Look at that cover. Wow. This is great. This is great. It's not as thrashy as their first album, and in fact there's like strings and stuff on here, and acoustic guitars. It's great. It's very musical, you know. It's like, yeah, it's death metal, but it's so musical. And I've said it before. Like, the thing about extreme metal is that it allows for all kinds of creativity that in like other genres, you know, are very lockstep in their sort of like staid sort of cliches. In extreme metal, you can do pretty much anything as long as, you know, it's heavy. You know, and heavy doesn't mean loud distorted guitars. You know, it just means heavy. Heavy death metal. Yeah. All right. So I also picked this up at Grimey's because I'm kind of in love with this label. They've put out a lot of stuff. I don't know that I could really collect the label, and I can't imagine all of it's great, but maybe it is. The label is International Anthem, and this was Fly or Die 2 by Jamie Branch. It's a woman trumpet player, and she does some singing on here. I love the cover. Fly or Die. I'm a bit of a bird watcher, living out here in the country, and it's true. You know, like we had this bluebird house, and the baby bluebirds. It's like, okay, time to go. Fly or be eaten. You know, really, it's what it is. You gotta fly, or you're gonna be eaten. Fly or Die 2. Yeah. So the little OB kind of says it all. Fiery and fluent frontline dispatch on dystopian Americana. Folds distorted forms of folk, jazz, and punk into outer space, dub, and alien disco. How could I resist that, right? I couldn't resist it. And it pretty much is that. I don't recognize any of these players, but it's Jamie Branch on trumpet, voice, synths, sneaker squeaks, bells and whistles. Lester St. Louis on cello and percussion. Jason Adjemian on bass, percussion, and vocals. Chad Taylor drums, mbira, and xylophone. With some special guests, I don't know them either. Really good. Really like that other record I was raving about. It's like now. It's you know, maybe it references, you know, the past, but it's now, and it's hot shit, and it's take no prisoners in your face. You know. Sam visited. And he was like, oh, he doesn't like the political hectoring. It's like, well, okay, but these are the times we live in, like it or not, and this just sounds like now. So, Fly or Die 2. Of course, I had to go and if I could, directly from the label, get Fly or Die 1, the first one, because I can't stand having like number 2 and not number 1, right? That's like collector. Anyway, so I ordered this. Oh God, weeks ago, and got a ship notice. And then it never got into the postal system. And then after a week, I sent a message like, "What's going on here?" And then it moved, and then it showed up, but it had the wrong record inside. It had that Universal Beings Disc 2 in it, and I was like, "Oh God!" So I contacted them, and they finally sent me the right one. With a really nice note. I meant to bring it down and show it, but with a really nice note and a little bonus thing that I'm going to show. But anyway, I finally have it. Fly or Die, the first one. Jamie Branch. Strings and swinging traps pulse beneath radiant brass painting. A daring, dynamic East Coast evolution of Chicago-style avant-garde. Yeah, no singing on this. I do recognize Tamika Reed, cello. Josh Berman on cornet. Yeah, so this is no singing, mostly instrumental. Honestly, not as powerful and gripping as Fly or Die 2, but really, really good, and really, again, very now sounding. Very like, you know, this isn't trying to play all the things you are in all 12 keys. It's not trying to like, show off all their chops, and and in fact, there's a lot of it's quite rough hewn, and that's that appeals to me. There's kind of a punky seat of your pants kind of like rough hewn aspect to it that I really quite like. Anyway, Fly or Die, Jamie Branch. She's someone to watch, I think. Again, these women in jazz are they're gonna save jazz. It's the women. It's not the guys. Well, the guys who help the women save jazz. Cheers. Did you hear Mary Halverson got the MacArthur grant? $250,000. She's quite young too to be getting that kind of big recognition. But good for her. Awesome. So anyway, they also sent me this flexi disc of Jeff Parker, our own Jeff Parker. Well, he used to hang around with us on Facebook. Black Man, one-sided flexi disc with vocals by, I think, his wife. Now, I should have looked it up. I think this is maybe a promo only thing. Anyway, very kind of very cool little like neo soul kind of thing. I'm not sure what's up with it, but Jeff Parker's due for another record on the label, so yeah, really cool. So thank you very much, International Anthem people. Excellent customer service. Things happen, but in the end, this was a really nice touch, and I really, really, really appreciate it. Okay, so one last thing I picked up at Grimies, and I've talked about this label or sub-label, Blue Note Tone Poet series. I picked up Cornbread, I guess. I was really blown away how great it sounded and the packaging and everything. So they're not cheap, but they are tremendous sounding. And so I picked up this Grant Green record, Born to Be Blue, with Ike Quebec, Sonny Clark, Sam Jones, and Louis Haynes. A little straight ahead for my taste, really. But Grant Green's playing, especially his early stuff, is just so tasty. It's just, a lot of people can't really get with that single string guitar sound, jazz guitar, but whatever. I love it. It's great. It sounds great. Great mood music, and it just sounds tremendous. Rudy Van Gelder in that period, those recordings are magical, and then it all fell apart when he moved to multi-track. Okay, so speaking of Blue Note, I found this in one of my locals, and I took a chance on it because it looked pretty rough, but it was cheap, and I'm like, well, why not? I'll take a chance and clean it up. And it cleaned up great. Sounds great. Elvin Jones live at the Lighthouse. Blue Note from 1973. Double album in a gatefold. Blue Note didn't do a lot of double live albums. And I have a few Elvin Jones records. They're all great, drummers as leaders can be problematic sometimes, but Elvin, he's great. There's some drum solos on here, because he's a leader. Of course, he's going to take drum solos. But they're really great. They're not your usual drum solos. Anyway, he's got a killer band here with so Elvin Jones on drums, Gene Pearl on bass, Dave Levin on soprano, tenor saxophone, and Steve Grossman on tenor saxophone. So 2 saxophones, bass, and Elvin. Killer. Nice find. Also took a chance on this at one point. This cover is like terrible. Pharoah Sanders and Norman Connors, Beyond a Dream. Now, the front cover makes it seem like this is a Pharoah Sanders record, which is why I'm like, oh, what's this? Everywhere else, it's a Norman Connors record. Norman Connors was signed to Arista at this point, but this is an Arista Novus from 1981, recorded at Montreux, July 22nd, 1978. And I remember Dr. Deadwax talking about live at Montreux records and how usually they're awful and wanky, and that's often the case. So I didn't have high hopes for this, but this is killer. This is really some, great late period spiritual jazz, 78. It's got a great band. Pharoah Sanders, Bobby Lyle on piano, Buzzy Jones, Duke Jones. Yeah, kind of a big band. A lot of people I don't recognize. Anyway, killer. It's only like $6 or $7. Yeah, pick it up if you see it, if you're into that kind of thing. the so-called spiritual jazz. All right, one last record. There's another store where vinyl, I mean, they've got a fuck ton of it, but it's a slog. It's a slog. It's a lot of junk. It's a lot of junk. And, you know, it's just this big warehouse kind of thing. And, you know, it's like they have just pallets of records moving in and out. And I don't have the patience to really dig. But occasionally I'm flipping through it and I find something cool. And here was this. They had 2 copies of them, still sealed. Matthew Shipp and Michael Bizzio, live in Seattle on Arena Jazz, Arena Music Promotion from 2016. Now, Matt is kind of a friend of mine. I went to conservatory with him and have stayed in touch with him and seen him perform many times. Have a lot, not all of his, he has a huge discography, but I have a lot of his stuff, and most of his discography is on CD. And he does not give a shit about vinyl, whatever. He's trying to make a living playing this weird music. So this is one of the few instances where Matthew Shipp appears on vinyl. And so, of course, I had to grab it. And yeah, it's great. It's, you know, longtime partners, you know, just piano and bass. And tremendous. Sounds, you know, it's not great sounding. It's a live recording. It gets better as it goes along. And that cover's kind of generic looking. But anyway, Matt Shipp on vinyl. How could I pass it up? Yes. Good stuff. All right, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for checking out the training videos if you're into them. I find them endlessly fascinating. You know, I'm trying to get a variety of locations and perspectives on these things, you know. Especially with the changing weather. I think, stay tuned for more. Because I'm not going to stop. And I'm not going to stop buying records. In fact, there's a couple of records I pre-ordered a long time ago that I was hoping would show up now, but apparently there's some pressing delay. So don't worry, there'll be more records. Cheers, everybody. Okay. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.